Hello, Jags. I'm Mary Hawkins Butler, and I am honored to be your mayor. I'm your biggest fan. Not only do you compete athletically, but also academically. Oh, we are so proud of you. You compete locally, you compete regionally, and nationally. We know that the time is now. You can make your mark. Go out and get it. Nothing is impossible. We are behind you, and we love you.
At Merit Health Medical Group, our mission is to provide high-quality health care in a convenient hometown location. Our team of primary and specialty care providers is here to take care of your family's immediate medical needs. With over 30 clinics and numerous specialties in Central Mississippi, we're here to help you live a happier, healthier life. Merit Health Medical Group. Good health is just around the corner.
At Mac Hike, football is in our blood. It's about teamwork, hard work, and dedication, kind of like selling cars. And Mac Hike, well, we're the best in the game. You won't find lower prices on new trucks anywhere else than at Mac Hike. No matter what brand you pick, you always get up to $14,000 off MSRP on your new Ford, Ram, or Chevrolet. And that's what's called having skin in the game. Visit any of our 5 Mac Hike locations today.
Get that great Mac Hike feeling.
Quality, integrity, and excellence. Kincaid's Fine Clothing, Old Town Square, Ridgeland.
Welcome to the Coach Anthony Hart Show here on the Madison Central Football Network, mcbigblue.com, Super Talk Mississippi 97.3. It's always brought to you by Kincaid's Fine Clothing. And Coach, a historic night for Madison Central and Germantown, the first two for those teams to meet in district play, and turned out to be a pretty hard-fought ball game. Jaguars win 36-23, but Germantown made the Jaguars earn it and had to play hard to get that victory.
Sure did. You know, and we stressed to our kids all week how important this game was going to be, especially on the Germantown side, you know, because they were not going to be in the playoffs, and this was their playoff game,
sure,
per se. And, you know, and they're a good football team. You know, Coach Tramick and his guys do a great job with those kids, and we knew it was going to be tough going in, and I think it took a little while for our kids to wake up and feel what we already knew.
Coach, obviously they threw the ball well, something I don't know if we really expected them to try to do. Jaguars were pretty much able to hem them up running the ball. Braxton Merritt, a sophomore, led the team with 9 tackles. That's got to be something good for the future for you to look at and see a sophomore leading your team in tackles. You
know, we've had to play all season with 2 sophomore corners, and they've grown up through the years. And Friday night we got 2 seniors on defense, and most of the time just 1. And, you know, exciting future for our defense side of the football. A lot of young guys has played at a high level this season.
Creek Robertson, a junior, had 6 tackles and an interception. And Hayes Buffkin showing out 4 sacks, 5 tackles. That young man's really starting to get some attention to some colleges. I think if you believe in the star system, I think they say he's a 3-star now. Really starting to get some attention from schools at the next level.
What a great player and a great young man. Hayes Buffkin plays hard every Friday night, and you know he's the kind of guy that you want to be around. You know he's going to do exactly what the coaches ask him to do with a great attitude, and you know you hardly ever hear him say a word.
Coach, you had 8 team sacks, 4 of those with Hayes Buffkin. Then you got Nick Carter, Dalton Stevens, Braxton Bolden, and Jay Sanders all in there with a sack. Obviously, defensively, you felt pretty good about the performance Friday night.
You know, you take a couple of plays away, it was lights out on defense all Friday night, and you know they played at a high level, and you know they're still battling with a little injuries. You know, had a player or 2 that didn't play, but you know we come out every Friday night, we're solid, and I think we'll continue to do that throughout the year.
Coach, we got a couple of turnovers in the ball game. We only allowed them to 25 rushing yards. We won the turnover battle. We did some things really nice on defense, and obviously against the team. As you said, kind of backs against the wall, nothing to lose. They were playing loose and hard and fast, and gave Jaguars a challenge. The defense, I thought, was the bright spot for sure, and we're able to try to keep them and keep them at bay there. I know you said at halftime when they got the lead on us by a point that people were concerned, and you said no one was more concerned than you. But to come back from a deficit and get back and win that ball game, it showed some poise out of this football team.
When they had the pick six to go up, I believe it was 17-16, then we showed up. You know, it was just like a different team ran off the sideline, and we scored 3 quick touchdowns to put it away, and you know, we just showed a flash that we hadn't seen in a couple of quarters, I guess. And I was proud of the kids for the way they responded to that situation.
36-23, win over Germantown. We'll talk about the offense, how they performed against the Mavericks when we return here on the Coach Anthony Hart Show. You're right here on the Madison Central Football Network.
In Madison, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Rodney Stokes for your insurance and financial needs.
Whether you're looking for a mortgage to help with that starter home, want to start saving for law school, need a business loan for your bakery, or a personal loan for your dream car, we'll be here. No matter what your financial goals may be, we can help tailor a plan to help you reach them.
Accidents aren't planned. Mississippi Sports Medicine Orthopedic Urgent Care. You're in, you're out. You're better.
It's game day. All you should be worried about is the score, because we've got the food covered. With fresh, never ever frozen chicken fingers, craveable cane sauce, crispy crinkle cut fries, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Hey, it's a beautiful day in Georgia blue. It's like a home-cooked meal. How mama makes you feel, that's what we do. Oh yeah. The time is now to make memories with all your friends. We'll be looking for you, so y'all come on in. This family around here, it's Georgia blue.
Welcome back to the Coach Anthony Hart Show here on the Madison Central Football Network, MCBigBlue.com, Super Talk Mississippi 97.3. Kincaid's Fine Clothing always brings you the Coach Anthony Hart Show, a 36-23 win over the Mavericks of Germantown. Really got it done on the ground, Coach. 370 yards rushing the football. Holiday, 16 carries, 174 yards, 4 touchdowns. He was our bell cow, there's no doubt about it. But I thought Duke got in there, ran the ball well, and especially for Javarius, a big night for him. 17 carries, over 100 yards, a touchdown, 370 on the ground for the team. And I really like the way that Javarius was showing up there that Friday night.
You know, Javarius has been hurt since third game and has not been healthy. And Friday night was the first time that he's been kind of back his old self. Got a little bit ways to go, but he's close. And we're expecting big things out of him tonight and going into the playoffs.
Holiday, 12 of 15 for 87 yards. Again, Blake Gunner, his favorite target was 6 catches, only 43 yards, but 6 receptions. That is really, those two have really, I mean, it's just, that seems to be the guy he looks for first.
You know, offensive staff has done a great job in having a passing game every Friday night where we have a high completion percentage, and Jimmy's done a great job throwing the football. I mean, like Blake and Luke, they have just come to play every Friday night, and you know, the great thing about old Blake, he's just a sophomore, so we're going to have him for a couple more years.
And he's playing at a high level for a sophomore. There's no doubt about it. Does a good job playing that fullback spot as well. Luke Robertson, 3 catches for 24 yards. Even got Luke in there in the backfield. I believe he can do just about anything, can he?
He can, and he's going to see more in the backfield as the year finishes up.
457 total yards. Obviously lost the ball twice. Anytime that happens, you're not happy about it, but we're able to hold on to a 36-23 victory.
Yeah, you know, the fumbles, you know, and we put it on the ground some more and got them back. But, you know, there's a lot of reasons we think that might have happened, but we're going to correct that this week going into the ball game and try to remedy that for us.
Coach, Thursday night ball game, we'll talk about that when we come back. It's homecoming. Lots of things happening on the campus, not only at Madison Central, but also at Rosa Scott as homecoming week being celebrated. Kind of weird to be homecoming and senior night all at the same time, or homecoming is your last game, senior night already done, but homecoming as your last game of the year. We'll talk about focusing on that and focusing on this Greenville team that comes to town on Thursday night. We'll continue with the Coach Anthony Hart Show here on the Madison Central Football Network.
Nobody does spicy chicken like Wendy's. And now, spicy nuggets are back. So all hail the Queen of Spice. That's right. And get a free 6-piece when you mobile order through the app. Bring them back.
Welcome back to the Coach Anthony Hart Show here on the Madison Central Football Network, mcbigblue.com. Super Talk Mississippi 97.3. Kincaid's Fine Clothing always brings you the Coach Anthony Hart Show each and every ball game. Before we get started, Coach, obviously a Thursday night game tonight. It's homecoming week. It's a big time for these seniors and the whole school to get into this football game. And a little bit about a Thursday night, and then of course homecoming festivities on Friday. What was kind of the reasoning behind that for moving those things around and adjusting it like that?
When we did this last year also, it was a couple of springs ago. It was kind of an ideal that Austin Brown, who was principal at the time, and Celeste Brown and myself, we talked about it and discussed it. Then we talked to the other stakeholders involved, our homecoming sponsors, and everybody felt that it would be a good idea to have the game on Thursday night. So on Friday, everything wouldn't be just lumped over the top of the game, and we did it last year, and we thought it worked really well, and I'm giving it a shot again.
Well, as a dad who used to have to get a kid ready for a homecoming dance after a football game and try to get them over there, get them picked up, get the pictures made, after they get showered and ready to go and all that kind of stuff, it does kind of make sense.
Yeah, it worked well for us last year, so like I said, we're going to do it again, and we're trying to do what's best for our kids. And when I say kids, I'm talking not just football players, but our students, our dance, cheer, band, everybody involved with the game. It just gives them a better 2-day experience instead of rush out the door and having to get it done.
Coach, we take on Greenville. They're an improved football team this year, 3-7 on the season. They got a region win. They're 1-5. They average about 24 points a game, and they like to throw the football, don't they?
Yeah, probably have the best receiver we've seen. You know, he's a great receiver, and we're going to have to account for him and keep him from having a big night.
Obviously, another ball game. We realize the challenge is not as formidable as we've seen before. Obviously, keeping the kids focused again. That's what you've got to do, because we've got to stay focused through this to get ready to make our way to next week when we'll pick our opponent. We'll talk about that in a second. But focus, I'm sure, is what you've talked about all this week at practice.
Yeah, focus and momentum. You know, it's good to have momentum going into the playoffs, and a good feel-good win will get us ready for the playoffs, because, you know, it gets tough after this week. You know, you really got to get your head down and get ready for great opponents each week.
Coach, obviously we're sitting third, District 6 to Region 2 at 4-2, Starkville at 1, South Panola at 2. In the District 6A Region 1, you got Oxford at 6-0, Olive Branch at 5-1, Tupelo at 5-1. There's still little things got to be decided up north, doesn't it?
Well, you know, yes, it does. You know, if you were guessing, you'd think you'd probably be playing Olive Branch next week. But, you know, if Warren Central pulls up set on South Panola, we could go 2 and host to number 3. So we're going to just have to wait and see how it all shakes out.
Don't know at this point, and I would ask you who would you like, but it don't matter. You're going to play who we get, isn't that right? Well, Coach, the good news is we're in the playoffs. I know we wish we were seated a little bit higher, but the bottom line is there's some teams that aren't playing in the playoffs. I'll take this over that any day of the week.
Yes, we will. And we feel like as a program we're a couple of plays away from being in that number 1 seed. But that's on us. We have to fight through that thing and get that number 1 seed if we want to be home field advantage. But we've been on the road before. Like I tell the kids, in the last 3 years we've played in 9 playoff games, and 2 of them's been at home. So we're used to it, and we're going to embrace it and do the best we can if we have to travel.
Well, Coach, we're looking forward to this game against Greenville, last home game, regular scheduled home game at the Jungle, depending on what happens in the playoffs. And looking forward to being back for homecoming. There'll be a lot of people on campus and a lot of folks celebrating homecoming with the Madison Central Jaguars. And just wish you, your kids, your players, the coaches, our staff, and everybody involved the best of luck. Get a homecoming win, get ready for playoffs, and see what happens with this 2019 season that has gone mighty fast.
It goes fast. The older it gets, the faster they go.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck tonight. We'll return to the field after this timeout right here on the Madison Central Football Network.